Hello, so good to see you. My name is Rachel. This is Stan Gregg.
Hi.
Hi, Stan.
How are you?
I am so good. How are you?
Oh, I'm wonderful. I'm glad to be here.
I am so glad you are here. And how are you out there? We are so glad you are here with us. We're here at Turn of the Century Antiques. And Stan, we're in Colorado. You are a Colorado artist.
Yes.
What do you specialize in?
I specialize in miniature houses, and one-of-a-kind houses that are created from paper and cardboard.
So good. So good, everybody. I have never seen a technique like this. Stan, you create one-of-a-kind houses. So by the way, they're one-of-a-kind. And do you make more?
I make a lot of houses, but nothing, I do not reproduce an identical house.
So there's
Everything's one of a kind.
So there's no identical houses. There's no repeats.
No repeats.
Everything is a one of a
I've had
kind.
customers that have wanted consignment repeats, and I said, I will make it, but completely different. It'll be reversed. If it was brick, it will now be siding. It will never match. It will not be the same size. Everything is. I want everybody to have one of a kind.
Does that keep it more exciting for you?
It does, because I do get bored easy, and I do create a lot of houses. I create about 20 a year, which a lot of people can get only 1 or 2 houses done a year. So I'm getting 1 to 2 houses done a month. So yes.
And you work every day on them, pretty much.
Yes. I usually take a break. I've taken like a couple months off this past year. Same as the new Halloween house. I got so addicted because of Halloween, and you inspired me so much that I was standing 7 hours a day just working on it and excited to finish it. So.
I love it. So just before we look at the houses, out of curiosity, because I know you have a big fan base, what's the most houses that one person owns of yours?
5.
5 houses.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
Okay.
And it makes me smile every time because they can't get enough. So.
Well, when I have come and seen you at miniature shows, by the time I got there, you were sold out.
Yes. I've had a couple of years where I've sold out like 20 houses in one show.
Yeah. Well, we are very excited to be here with Stan, and we are doing a virtual show for you right now. So you have brought 5 houses here that we are going to explore.
Just a small portion of what I have.
Small portion of what you have. You have a lot of wonderful houses, but you picked out some of your favorites.
Yes.
So we are going to start. Oh, where would you like to start, actually?
This one right here on the end, I did this just for your shop. This one is called the Doll Collector's Cottage. And the Doll Collector's Cottage is filled with miniature dolls, just like your doll shop.
I love this one, Stan, and you know what? It's sold in 2 minutes.
That is amazing. that makes me smile ear to ear because...
Didn't you just smile when I texted you and told you?
Work,
oh my gosh. I didn't even have time to put in the dimensions, and I was barely done uploading the photos, and it sold.
Oh my goodness. And this one is 100% cardboard. It took me, I'm forgetting how long it took, but roughly each house has about 40 to 50 hours into each home. But when I'm done with it, it's solid as a rock. It's about 1/2 inch thick. You can pretty much drop it and not break it.
That is a really good point that you just made, because when we tell people they're cardboard, we think of cardboard.
And it's not regular cardboard. It's a heavy-duty shim cardboard that you get from a construction company. And I have to wear gloves and bandages just so I don't have blisters when I'm cutting the cardboard. So I'll spend maybe 6 hours cutting all the cardboard for the house and the shingles and gluing it all together. And so yes, it's a technique. So.
And then putting on all the moss and the texture,
yes.
the distressing and all that you do to make the outside look amazing. A lot of miniaturists, they don't actually fill them, but we're excited to see the inside.
Yeah, and most miniaturists only will sell you the house. My house is fully electrified with plug-ins, miniature lamps, all the furniture, all the decorations. Everything's either hand-created or I buy and put in the home.
That's one of the things that I love about your house is that they're a one-stop shop. Yes. You plug it in and go.
It's like a form of art. That
Yes.
it's I have everything the way I feel it should look for that home. You can still rearrange it because everything's held into place with museum wax, so you can remove it and redo it. So customers have remodeled my homes.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's fun to change them for the season.
Yes.
So let's talk about the brick mansion.
The brick mansion, at one time I refused to sell because it was my first real big brick house that I did, and it was probably my favorite. I have a lot of hours into this. This one I taught myself how to create each window by making a mold and then creating each window out of plaster. So it's a little bit heavier. Most of my houses are very lightweight, between 7 and 12 pounds. This one I think is 15 pounds, which still is very light because most doll houses are 40 to 60 pounds and triple the size. But this is all paper mache. It's a ground paper that I mix with water and glue. And it's about a 1/2 inch thick to a 1/4 inch thick, and I press it on. I make all the bricks, then I grout it to give it a realistic look.
It is so beautiful. What city would this be found
This
in?
would be more of San Francisco.
That's exactly what I was thinking,
Yes.
San Francisco. This is a great house for somebody that is looking for maybe an all year round house.
Yes. Yeah, because you can decorate it, put the Halloween, they have, or you can do the Christmas trim, the Christmas lights on the outside. Everything's in miniature. I also make every house to where there's extra plugs underneath the foundation to where they can add extra lights to it too. And now I only hardwire my homes. A lot of the doll houses that people collect, they have tape wiring in them, which everything comes loose and the electrical don't work. Now I use regular wires. I run grooves through the walls and the floors, and the wire gets buried and then covered, and nothing comes undone.
You have learned so much
In
over
8 years,
the years.
yes.
Yes.
And slowly still
8
teaching
years.
myself. So
8 years he has been doing this. That is not very
now,
long.
for my scariest
Love
house, I have a favorite for every type of house. This would be my Psycho house, which from the movie, it was just created from one picture that I sat and held, and I sketched it up on poster board. I then cut it out, made the windows, and made it, because they do sell a model of this house, but it's 1/24th scale, which is really tiny. So they do not sell a dollhouse this size for the Psycho house. And technically it should be, this house would probably fill this whole table if it was accurate size for a dollhouse scale. But I scale mine down to where they can fit into anybody's house.
I'm just standing behind so you can see the scale. They're a great size.
Yes. And this one, again, is very lightweight. I can just pick it up, I'm guessing probably 10 pounds or less. It's also, again, 100% cardboard. But it's hard as rock.
You're a lot more brave than I'm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's just so good. It's so good. I posted some pictures of the Bates Motel Psycho House, and it is so good.
Oh, thank you.
Your rendition. It's amazing that you can just take a picture and create it.
It's my interpretation. And, yeah.
It's amazing. So I can't wait to show everybody the inside. All right, let's talk about the Dracula house.
I had posted this on your group when I first joined into your or into your fan club, and this was Dracula's Lair. This one is filled with coffins inside. It's not too gory, but it has Dracula inside and all the coffins. And this one is made out of 100% paper mache, which my paper mache again is about a 1/2 inch thick clay that I turned it into. From hand making, all the little details here out of plaster, and same as all the windows I made out of plaster, which I make a mold, and then just create it. And so I just sort of create the windows myself, and then make molds from them to save money, because windows, a good sized door can be $30-40, and I can reproduce it for a couple dollars once I make a mold. So
the amount of house that you get for the money with Stan, I have seen doll houses and houses at shows that were not furnished that cost more than this.
oh yes,
And kits cost more than
2 to 3
this.
times this amount.
2 to
So-
3 times this amount. I look at them and I'm just amazed every single time.
And I'm not about money. I'm one of these people that want everybody to have a house. For as long as I can get what I put into it back, if I make $5 or $10 an hour, I'm fine.
Yeah.
So.
And I love that about you. I love that about you. You make it very accessible.
And
now this last house I am obsessed with.
Is the Halloween house, which was my first attempt at. I think this is the first darkest house I've ever done that has sort of the creepy, scary look with the little skeletons just crawling around the home. My first attempt at making miniature pumpkins.
I love your miniature pumpkins.
So
Look at
everyone has they've all been carved out.
You made us some, not to get off topic, but you made us some wonderful kits that each one has one of your little carved pumpkins.
So, and I made the carved pumpkins more specialized for your fan base of Barbie dolls. So they're more Barbie doll sized pumpkins, so more people can enjoy them. Since there's not the fan base for the miniature dollhouse.
We like Barbie scale because
Yes.
that works with a lot of dolls. This house, as soon as I saw it, I messaged you within 3 to 5 minutes, and I said I had to have it.
Yes.
For our shop.
Oh yeah.
It's everything.
Oh yeah, and the handmade windows, I actually designed all the windows myself using cardboard, clay, bits and pieces of wood, made a mold, and then I make the windows out of plaster now.
So what is your favorite part about this house?
Oh my goodness, this is a tough one on this house. I think a little bit of the interior is my favorite, and I actually like the brickwork on this home. I think is one of my favorite, the brick and the windows. But the interior has so much detail with the miniature cookies laying out and the little pumpkins inside. And
I love how you did the skeleton here on top of the windowsill.
Oh, yes.
That is
Just
that is
sitting there waiting for you.
hysterical. He's
But I find it something that I like in every home, from the quarantine signs I make to the Halloween signs and the crime scene tape. And I try not to make it gory to where you can take everything off and even do it up for Christmas if you wanted to.
It's so important, Stan. And what I love about your homes is that this is scary for Halloween,
Yep.
but it's appropriate for children.
Yes.
And that is very
because
important.
all this comes off. Everything's again museum wax down. You can see the little museum wax. Everything, it's just sticky and it comes off clean, but it holds everything in place to where you can retake it off.
Okay, now we're gonna see what really happens, which is so exciting, is the insides. Okay, we'll be right back.
Okay, this is the interior of the Halloween house here, and on the interior, the upstairs attic is where the two children live, the boy and the girl's bed, which they have a bearskin rug in the center of the room, plus their miniature Ouija board and candle that they have just for the extra spooktacular. Each one of them have skull and bones on the base of their beds. There's also a little scary, if you look in the back there's a little scary clown lamp for a coat hanger. Electrified one there, and there's if you sort of use your imagination, there's a little floating dress there that's moving around in the room. Plus all the little artwork and pictures I've created throughout the house that are layered upon the walls. Then we come down below into the bedroom area. Again, there's models that I put together that I glue together for the home. All the fireplaces in the house, the kitchen stove, all the miniature furniture in the bedroom has been painted black to give it sort of the creepy, scary look. Again, the bedroom also has a little Ouija board with a hammer on it right beside the bed, so it sort of gives you the idea of what the heck is this homeowner doing. Right next door, I call it the red room bathroom. It has a little shower curtain and red bathroom fixtures. And then down here we have the kitchen, which there's so many little details, from the vegetables in the bowl to the soup in the pot here, and the oranges on the ground, and the handmade little bundt cake on the table, to a boiling cauldron that is on the stovetop, and a fresh batch of cookies that could be made from children. You never know. Then we come over into, I think my favorite area in this house is the living room area for the haunted house, from the little miniature cookies that are handmade out of clay, to the little miniature trick-or-treat bag with more little candies sticking out from the Hershey's candy bars. Then you just start seeing a little detail from the glass filled with, the glass jar filled with candy, and the skull that's on top of the table under glass. Then there's the Halloween gifts that line up on the counters, on and then the organ that they're playing. And then my friend Laura Crane had made this little wingback chair in there, which I won't tell you the price. Let's just say it's probably costs as much as a regular wingback chair for human size. So, but yeah, the same as the fireplace. The fireplace again is a mold. I make that out of plaster. So everything's got a. This one I actually lost count of the hours of labor that I put into it. There could be between 70 and 80 hours of labor, but it's labor of love, so I lose track of how many hours.
It's so amazing, Stan. Do you collaborate with other artists when it comes to the interiors?
No, I just start building. All the floorboards actually are hardwood floorboards, but they're made out of popsicle sticks. Everything's then glued down, and then it's glued over top of it, so it's very sturdy. I pretty much set in my ways. I have to teach myself, so I have a hard time following directions from other people. And this one, I went a little bit above and beyond on this house. All the walls downstairs are all wallpapered, which usually we usually focus on the interior because a lot of people that buy the houses want to redo it themselves. But yeah, this one I just wanted to give it an extra little kick.
Oh, it has a kick, Stan.
Thank you.
Fabulous.
And then the next home we have here is Dracula'S Lair. I think I probably spent a week alone making the 5 coffins that are in here. Like this little coffin here is on little hinges to where the coffin opens and closes. Each coffin has a little silk lining, which I spent probably a day alone just making all the sewing the silk lining for around the coffins. You can see Dracula, the young version of him, standing in the middle of the room. Again, his black coffin in the back that you can sort of see the light glowing out of. We have 2 red coffins in the back that are called the Lovebird coffins. Again, my friend Laura Crane had made this floral arrangement, which these floral arrangements run about $150. Her work is spectacular. Just one of the most amazing artists I know. But yeah, I like mixing and matching and like all the artwork again I created on the walls. Then you look at little items like this little candelabra that's would be 6 foot tall in real life. A piece like that would be $40. I mean, it's brass, it's handmade, it's some beautiful little pieces that I try to incorporate into every house.
I love the gallery walls with all the portraits.
And I'm just started getting into that. I like adding lots of portraits in a home. Like Dracula's lived there 100 years, 200 years, and
I can just hear him laughing with his little Dracula laugh.
Yes.
It's so good. I love your coffin. It's fabulous.
Oh, thank you. I had a blast making those coffins. You could actually see the claw marks if you look close enough where somebody was trying to claw their way out of the coffin.
Oh, those little touches of everything.
Yes, I try to add little details to everything. Now, the next is the Psycho House, which it's my clean version of the Psycho House, so it's still appropriate for children. It can still be rechanged. I only there's the upstairs attic, which this house I purposely let get dusty just because it gives it more of that haunted, creepy, sort of scary look in a clean way. We have the attic up here, which this little tiny dollhouse in the dollhouse was a kit that you buy, which is it's like $50 just to buy that little dollhouse. So it took me just as long to build this little house as it would me to frame a whole big house.
Oh my gosh.
So that was a little model that you glue together, then paint, and then just another tinier dollhouse made out of paper. Then we have like a Sonia Messer chair in the back there, which her stuff's very highly collectible and a little pricey, but I love including that with a mixture of stuff because it makes the more inexpensive furniture look more expensive, adding some expensive pieces. One of my favorite pieces in this attic room that you will see is the
It's all right. There it is. There it goes.
Is in the attic here we have a little fold-out bed. It's stained. This is handmade. I mean, the work in this I believe runs for $80 or $100 for the little portable roll-out bed, has the little wheels on it. Everything's, again, museum waxed in place to where you can remove it and do it. But that is, I think, my favorite piece in the whole house, just because it looks like 100 years old and belongs in an attic. Then we come down to the mother's bedroom for the Psycho house. I kept it clean. I didn't put her body in the bed or anything, but that's her dress, that's her hats and her clothing on the ground. If you look really closely at the details, there's a bow and archery set there because she might be going to chase after somebody with an axe. And then here in the chair, we have a set of guns and a knife, and so I try to hide a little detail in everything.
Your houses look
And then
lived in.
somebody hand crocheted that little pillow back there, had hand stitched that pillow. It probably took them a couple days to make just that little pillow. So we won't mention what they usually charge for those little pillows. So people, yeah, it's the amazing artist.
I think anybody that knows miniatures knows that miniatures
Oh, yes.
are expensive.
Again, the bathroom I think is my favorite. I don't know why I like the pink wallpaper so much, but again, these are model kits that I buy, and then I spend a couple hours and I glue the kits together and make the. And then down here we have the smoking room, where you can see the little cup of coffee sitting on the chair on top of the newspaper. Then we move into the living area, and you can see the little bloody rolling pin where somebody might have been hit on the head. And then you see the handmade suitcase, which, amazing work. This suitcase costs more than my personal suitcase I take on vacations. But then if you look, there's a little miniature passport stuck to the top of the suitcase because they know somebody just got murdered, so they're leaving this country. Then if you look, there's a little glass of wine and a little pitchfork there that they can stab somebody with. So I add little things that get your mind racing, thinking about what are they doing with that? Why is that there? And of course, then there's the dining room, where it looks like somebody just left in a hurry. And then we shall move to the Brick Mansion. The Brick Mansion has a couple of my favorite artists work in it. Again, Laura Crane. Laura Crane does these wonderful little chairs here, and they're probably about $40 a chair. She's a wonderful, wonderful artist. I love to incorporate her stuff in my houses because it's so realistic looking, and plus it really goes with the house. Same as this little floral arrangement. She handmade all of these flowers. You're talking, this is $150, I'm guessing, for this handmade, but it looks just like hydrangeas. It's spectacular work. The ivy, I mean, all the handmade stuff she's done for this. And again, it's museum wax down, so you can move it around and clean the wax off. From handmade pottery that people do, that one little pot can run you $20 on the house. It's just, yeah, I just sort of incorporate everything into the houses to try to make them look real. I like to add more stuff to it because most people houses look lived in. They have junk and newspapers laying around, and I see a couple pictures fell off on the ground here. Museum wax doesn't always stay well when I move stuff around, so there's a picture on the floor there, so I need to move that. But
So if somebody was to purchase a house and just in shipping, usually everything stays on.
yeah, everything stays on.
Fill us in a little on the shipping
On the shipping,
process?
what I do is I lightly put in some packing paper on the inside just to keep things in place a little bit better, even though it is museum wax down. Then I hand build a box, cardboard box that goes around it to leave at least 2 to 3 inches around. Then I wrap the house in bubble wrap. And then once the house is in the box, then I pack it with more packing paper around the house to where you can shake the box and nothing moves. And I've actually shipped 5 houses out, and every one has made it without issue or nothing broken. And that's amazing, where one went to Maine, one went to New York, one went to Boston. And that's a lot of throwing around by UPS.
That's very far from Colorado.
Yes.
So yeah, that's great to know. I love this house. It looks beautiful in our doll shop. But speaking of dolls,
This is the one I created because you inspired me, and I wanted something that for all the doll collectors for your shop. This house actually has probably the nicest furniture in it. This is collectible furniture and for the bedroom set. It's best pack furniture. Just the bedroom set alone, because it has a couple little dings and dents in it here and there, because the woman I bought it from had put glue on certain areas where you don't use glue, so I had to scrape it off. But it's still almost in mint condition. But even a bad condition bedroom set like that's over $350. And I don't think they sell it anymore. I think I've had one person trying to buy it from me because they could not find it. So whoever bought this house really lucked out, because that's pretty much one of a kind set right now. So, and then the handmade little porcelain dolls. If you look even on the bed, somebody's handmade the little doll. Well, that's $80 for a little doll. $80. I mean, but they're amazing artists that create this. I'm not sure of the artist that made these tiny little crochet dolls. These are represent from the 70s. Somebody handmade the little Raggedy Ann and Andy dolls out of clay. And then we come down to the living room. Again, some friends that had made some flowers for me, and then more Raggedy Ann dolls, and just dolls everywhere in the house. Just like you would almost think of kids playing and with the paper cutouts of the dolls and just goofing off. Because then on this side of the room we have the little boy that's in here playing with his train set and making a mess, and more, of course, more model pieces that I build and create for the home. Again, and this house is wallpapered too, and plus lots of artwork on the walls that I hand created. So, but yeah, again, this one was 100% paper, and it's very lightweight, so, and heavy duty.
Stan, I want to thank you so much for visiting us today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Did you have a good time?
Oh, it was a wonderful time. Thank you.
We had a blast. So if somebody would like to learn more about you and your work and maybe follow your journey.
Yes, you can visit me on gregsminiatureimaginations.blogspot.com, or you can Google my name, Stan Gregg, and it'll lead you right to the spot.
We will put a link on the video so you'll be able to see it, and in the video description. These houses, except for the doll one, which sold immediately, are for sale through our doll shop. And if you would like to purchase one, snag them because they will go quick. And we will put a link there as well. So we are so excited to offer these to you. And what?
Rachel,
What?
big spider,
Oh,
spider!
Stan!